This is the DJI RS3 gimbal, and I've used it over the last couple of months in various scenarios. And today I will not only give you 3, not 5, but 10 tips you should need to know about in 2023. This is Captain Filmmaking. Welcome on board our channel. Number 1. Correct balancing. If you might wonder, it's not a big deal to balance a zoom lens on a gimbal. You just set your zoom lens to about its middle zoom range. For a standard zoom lens like the semi-heavy Sony 16 to 55mm f2.8, the RS3 will take it with ease. First, the camera looks up. Then you balance the tilt, then the roll, and finally the pan axis. In addition, I recommend to use your available space on the mounting plate just to bring your weight closer to the center of gravity, which will increase the balancing performance too. And be cautious when using a mat box or other accessories like a mic on your gimbal, because this can produce self-induced vibrations which the motor won't be able to handle. If you have any problems with light vibrations of the motor or shaky footage, you can tweak the torque of the motors after you have calibrated your gimbal. Tip number 2. There are 2 or maybe 3 ways how you can put your camera into vertical shooting mode. The first one, but not so recommendable one, is to put your gimbal into the 360-degree mode. That's a quick mode how you can get your camera into vertical, but it only works for easy shoots because by definition you take out one of the balancing axes of the gimbal. The better solution is to get DJI's vertical mount for a gimbal, which puts the weight of the camera closer to the center of gravity and gives you a full stabilization authority. The calibration works the same as for the standard mount, as mentioned before, top down. The drawbacks are the accessory retails for about 40 euros and the transformation process includes mounting of the blade, rebalancing and recalibrating each time you want to shoot vertical. Another quick way to transform your horizontal into vertical shooting is to use your lens's camera cage. I use the Sony FX30 for most of my projects, and this specific cage from the lens in combination with this f38 quick release system gives you a quick way to switch from horizontal to vertical. If you don't already own the Ulanzi cage, it's a rather expensive add-on and you do have the same limitations as when you take the gimbal itself and put it into 360-degree mode. Tip number 3. 360-degree mode. This mode works great when used in combination with a wide-angle lens. For instance, the Sigma 16mm f1.4 or Sony's 11mm f1.8. With this combination you can get super creative and use the setup for different shots. You could improve the preciseness even more if you try to align your camera lens with the pan axis, which becomes the roll axis in the 360-degree mode. To achieve this, you could either use your room available on the mounting plate or use additional counterweights which you can mount to your camera cage. Now you can use the joystick to rotate your camera and you can even set the speed in the settings. By using the hard stop of the other axis, you can fine-tune your movement because the other axes do not have any function in the 360-degree mode. For continuous rotation, simply double tap the joystick and the camera will start to spin. To stop, simply double click the front button or change into another mode via the selector toggle on the right. Tip number 4. Despite its name, the focus motor works excellently when using it with the zoom lens. For me, this combination is the most versatile for things like events, weddings or running and shooting. Just be sure to adapt your gimbal's dial speed to the mechanical range of your zoom lens so you can scroll through it with one swipe of your finger. With the dial smoothness set to a high value, in my case 27 seemed to be the sweet spot, the zooming looks very natural. From here on you will be never forced to fight your working gimbal motors while trying to grab and turn your zoom lens. Tip number 5. Use the full potential of your camera's focus system by the RS3. If you've connected your RS3 via Bluetooth to your camera, you will be able to execute following functions. Firstly, you can focus by just slightly tapping the red record button on your gimbal. Secondly, By holding but not fully pressing this red record button, your camera will do a focus hold. And thirdly, and this is available since the last firmware update from DJI, so make sure you update your gimbal first, is that you can transfer the function of your camera's custom button number 1 to the DJI RS3 mode button. For that reason, I've set it in my camera to the autofocus manual focus selector toggle. By doing so, you take advantage of the full potential of your camera's autofocus system, and the way you will shoot with autofocus lenses on your gimbal will change fundamentally. Philip Bloom calls it manual autofocus, and he has made 2 long format videos just about these topics of how to combine autofocus with manual focus on Sony cameras. Watch his videos, he's a genius. Number 6. If you have problems with your locking arms because they are too tight or too loose, you can actually adjust the screws to make them hold just right. This could also be done with the screw of your mounting plate, and if you have found it hard to adjust the arm of your roll axis, it helps if you just tilt it upwards a little bit while adjusting. Tip number 7. This seems to be a small thing, and it is. Use a small and thin HDMI cable. I've bought a bunch of different HDMI cables until I found the right one. And this is the Tuozu 50 cm ultra thin HDMI cable. Standard HDMI cables are quite rigid and hence hinder the gimbal in working properly. When using this very lightweight cable, you won't have any issues. Number 8. It's all about batteries. When you're using your gimbal in professional shoots, you have to think about your power management. With most current cameras, you won't be able to swap batteries while the camera is mounted on a gimbal. For that, I've adapted SmallRig's power bank holder to fit just beneath the mounting plate. With this solution, you don't have to wire my power bank from outside of the moving parts, which usually causes trouble when the wires gets entangled in the gimbal. With this little power bank, you're not only getting 2 outlets for both charging your camera and your microphone receiver, but also add about 2 to 3 batteries to your camera, and this should give you enough juice for the most scenarios. I've mounted this little hack with just 2 zip ties, and it works perfectly fine, and it is way cheaper than other solutions like SmallRig's or Tilta's power through plate or V-mount battery holders. Tip number 9. When talking about V-mount batteries, for your gimbal and maybe for a smartphone too, you can use this little V-mount battery holder on your underslung arm. This will extend your battery life immensely and could be used to charge your camera during breaks too. Final tip number 10. DJI's Smartphone Holder, and this is a big one. After I bought it, I realized how versatile this little gadget truly is. It not only holds your phone vertically and horizontally, it also acts as a 2-in-1 mounting solution. Firstly, it offers a 1/4-inch mounting point for a NATO rail, and secondly, it acts as a cold shoe holder. Both options offer many possibilities for mounting accessories like microphones, wireless microphone receivers, and much more. And as a bonus tip, the native tripod comes in very handy, but sometimes it's useful and necessary to use an extension pole like this one. The problem is, if you switch it out the regular way, it takes quite a long time. I will show you here how quick you can do it with this quick release system from Ulanzi. Watch this. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for being part of the Captain Filmmaking crew. We'll catch you in the next one and see you on the other side.